y'all, it's Kirby here with KJF-TravelAdventures, and I'm on another solo work trip. This time I'm in Philadelphia, but I have a little bit of free time this evening and then a few hours tomorrow evening before I fly home. So let's go see what we can do with about a half a day in Philly. Let's go. Because we've only got, like a few hours. I'm gonna do all kind of touristy things. So dinner tonight is at Reading Terminal Market. Had to get a cheesesteak, right? And obviously we had to get donuts. Both of those came from Reading Terminal Market. They were delicious. The cheesesteak, they gave you a bunch of options, right? Half whole, they had chicken or steak, provolone, mozzarella, cheese whiz, all sorts of different options. So it was really good, and they made it right then when you ordered it fresh and hot. And that's about all I did last night. It is the next day. I am gonna have one more meal at Reading Terminal Market, and then I'm gonna do some of the touristy Independence Hall, etc. things, because I only have a few hours. So not a whole lot of exploring outside the sort of main historic area, but let's go check it out. Delicious, and now we're walking towards the Independence Hall area to see some of the historic touristy sites. Let's go! So this is called the President's House. This is where George Washington and John Adams lived when Philadelphia was the capital of the United States. And the house was demolished in 1832, but the foundation is still embedded in the ground, and they've preserved that. history of the enslaved people that helped build this house and in this time here. It's really, really interesting to see. These are free public restrooms with a water bottle refill across from the entrance to Independence Hall. And considering that they're free public restrooms in a busy touristy area, they were surprisingly clean. As of right now, to visit Independence Hall, you need to book a free tour. There's a $1 processing fee, but you book at the same place we booked. That's the National Park app or recreation.gov. It's every 20 minutes. Time for a tour.
The courtroom in this country today has one of these in it. Any idea what this one did? Right? This is known as prisoner's dock. You're going on trial for whatever reason, you go to the courtroom, you're placed here, and you stay here the whole time you were in the courtroom. There's no place to sit, you have to stand. Everybody else is sitting, the jurors, judges, lawyers, court officials, everybody's sitting except the person here. And many believe that's where we get the expression stand trial, because one original piece of furniture that sits in this room from back in the day. The front room is a very fancy chair, you don't see it. It is known as the President's Chair. And it's also known as the Rising Sun Chair, which is a nickname given to it by Benjamin Franklin. The thing is that people do come from around the world today to see that chair. That's because George Washington sits right there. 30 feet from where you're standing, George Washington is sitting right there. July 2nd should be Independence Day. In fact, John Adams even wrote that July 2nd will be remembered forever with celebrations, illuminations, as he called them, fireworks. But we celebrate on the 4th, and that's because a couple of days goes by, they make sure the language is what they want exactly before an order of 200 copies is sent to the printer, so that word can be spread throughout the colonies, and that's why July 4th is important. That's the first time the word goes out. It all begins here, inside this building, inside this room. This is ground zero for the United States of America. Everything behind you, 3,000 miles away to the Pacific Ocean, exists because of what has happened here.
one final stop at Reading Terminal Market to bring a snack home for Dana. Alright, so my final thoughts on Philadelphia. So I obviously only had a couple hours, right? So I stuck to what was nearby where I was staying, which was Reading Terminal Market, and then the touristy sort of Independence Hall, and then the Liberty Bell, which were really cool and well done. The Liberty Bell, I was there on a weekday, so the ranger inside the Liberty Bell sort of hall area said it gets very, very busy sometimes, where there's, it's very hard to get a clear shot of the Liberty Bell if that's what you're looking for. But I lucked out. There wasn't really any wait to get in. You do go through security, both to get into the Liberty Bell building and to get into Independence Hall with a metal detector and a bag check. And you can only go inside Independence Hall now, currently, if you book a guided tour, which leaves every 20 minutes or so. They're free, but you pay $1 processing fee on the recreation.gov website or app. And it was a weekday, so I don't know if this is an indication during the week, but I booked my time about 40 minutes out from when my tour was. So I booked around 1 p.m. for like a 1:40 tour or something like that. So it wasn't super hard for me to get, but I imagine in like peak tourist time that you should plan ahead and book those up. And then just kind of roamed around. There's tons to do and eat in Reading Terminal Market. You could go there for every meal and have something different. So that was nice because that was basically a block from where I was staying. So that was easy to get a lot of meals and bring a treat of cookies home for Dana. That was my last stop to get cookies to go, but I had a good time. There is some public transit in Philadelphia. Again, we've said this in other vlogs. We use the app CityMapper to help us navigate public transit. I was on this public transit by myself, I felt safe the whole time. Philadelphia does have some portion of the unhoused population. I don't think it's any more than I've seen in any other big major city, but just something to keep in mind. And just like when you're going anywhere, to be aware of your surroundings, right? Pay attention, make sure you aren't flaunting any crazy valuables or walking around, showing off large wads of cash. Just be aware. But I felt safe the entire time, and it was me by myself. So, I was just aware of my surroundings. I walked confidently like I looked where I was going, and I had no problem. So, I would definitely go back and do some more sort of less popular touristy things to explore, but when I've only got half a day, I wanted to check those highlights off. So I'm Kirby from KJF-TravelAdventures. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you get notified when all of our new videos drop. Bye!